Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'm just going to show you today how this is an original card designed from Iced Images. It's the 7x5 size. I've scaled it down to fit a normal or a standard Australian envelope size, so I'm going to show you how I did that. I've got all the measurements there for you. Just a couple of things before I start. I've got a Facebook page called Cards by Laura. In there I post all my cards that I make. They are just there for viewing. You can purchase the cards in there if there's any that you see that you might like. Just get in touch with me through my Facebook page. I've also got a large Facebook group called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. In there are all the PDFs for all of my cards on my channel, and also I do a live video on a Saturday morning where I pin the video to the featured tab, but then it's uploaded to YouTube as well. You'll see on my channel where the live videos I've got in brackets after each of them, live replay, so you can watch those as well, or if you're in my group you can watch me live on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. If you wish to join this group, because if you want the full PDF for these cards, it's in the files tab in that group. To join the group, there's a couple of questions you need to answer. One is why you wish to join, whether it be just for the PDFs or some other ideas. We share a lot of cards in there. And the second question is that you agree to the rules. If you don't see those questions on the device you're on, try joining from a different device. You will get a notification back if you haven't answered the questions. And if you're watching today, my YouTube channel is called Creative Gems. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love you to do so. If you like what you see, and I do enjoy doing my videos. I shall put all that business side away and we shall get started on this. Now, I've prepped a lot of pieces beforehand. This is called a winged pop-up diamond card. This is the original version that I did. It's 7 inches by 5 inches. It comes out quite large. You've got a panel on the back to do your greeting. You could even put another panel in the center here if you wish, but it's not difficult to do. There's a lot of pieces in it to cut, but once you've got all those done, it's not difficult to assemble. That's the larger size, but today I'm doing the smaller one. This one here, that's just come adrift, which I knew I should have used red tape on this. We'll just push that down in, and I shall fix it later properly. That shouldn't come apart like that. And it's got the panel on the back as well. So in there I shall get some red tape out to do the one today. It is stronger with red tape. I've just used tear and tape, but it normally stays together. There we go. It's not too bad. So I didn't realise that was going to pull apart like that. It's been not too bad. These ones are all done with tear and tape. Now we shall get started. As normal, I have my measurements all typed up. Now in the PDF, I have put the 7x5 measurements as well, so you can do this one as well. This one is at the top of the PDF, and then on the second page, we have the one for the 7x5, so you can get both measurements out of it. And we shall start with this. I'm using a new set today. A new paper. It's a suite that's online. It's Charming Day, and the DSP that I've used is Floral Charm. Really pretty papers in this. This is a new one coming out. It's an online exclusive. It's just for demonstrators at the moment until it goes live at the beginning of July. Then it's available to customers. But really pretty paper in here. I love these ones. There's a couple of packs. It's got Blackberry Bliss, a few really nice colours in there. All the pretty papers, beautiful. So we shall get started. That's that. The stamp set is this one here. It's got the dies with it. These dies here, all those ones, they all cut out individual pieces. I'll show you some of those in a minute. And these cut out the stamped images, the frame part of it. My stamp set came, and it's a little bit off balance. The stickers are on, but when you look at these, it's the rubber's been cut too close to the top of the stamp. So I have rung Stampin' Up the demonstrator support, and they are going to replace that for me. I've told other ladies on my, I'm direct to Stampin' Up, so I've mentioned it in there. If your set's not quite right, let them know, because they need to know. I did send photos of mine, so they're going to send it off to the quality control. Right, we shall get started on this. The main base is 8 inches by 5 3/4, and I'll give you the scoring in a minute. Now, I have put all of these pieces together just to save a bit of time, because there's a fair few mats and DSP. So the mats I've chosen are in Bubble Bath. That's not one of the colours in the paper, but it goes quite nice with these flowers here. They are 5 1/2. That's these ones, 5 1/2 by 1 3/4, and there's 5 of those. I'll just move that down a bit, make sure you can see it all. And then the DSP on the top. Now we need 4 with DSP, which is and one of those, 3 of them are one design and one in a different design. So I've got those 3 in the same, and they're 5 1/4 by 1 1/2, and then this one here is in the different design. It's one of the back pieces on it, and then another one that's basic white. It's 5 1/4 by 1 1/2 as well. So there's 5 in total for those. And then my diamond bases are these ones here, and you'll need 5. Where are we? 5 of those in the mat with the mats. Now there's a base first, which is the same colour as this base. They're 5 and a base, 2 by 2, and then the mats are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. That's in the Bubble Bath. There's 5 of those, and then the DSP 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. There's 5 of, but one of which is a different design. So I've chosen 4 in that design and 1 in the same design as what I did on this one over here. So just one different. It goes on the little diamonds at the side. That's those. And then the cubes, which you need, I'll explain those when we get to them. They're 2 inches by 1 1/4. You'll need 2 of those. I might put some red tape on the top of those. I've already put the tear and tape on. And then the back, that's the back cubes. Embellishments, I've got lots of little embellishments here to put on as well, and some die cut pieces. So we'll put those bits aside and that aside, and we shall get started. You can take a screenshot of that if you wish, but the measurements will be in the description box of today's video. And then, as I said before, you can get the full PDF from my tips and tutorials page, group. It's a group. So we shall get this scored first, and the measurements for scoring on the long side, there's not a lot of scoring to do. 2, 3, 5 and 6. So we've got 2 inches there, 3 inches. You could turn it around 180 and do 2 and 3 on the other side, but it's just as easy this way. 5 inches and 6 inches all the way over there. Excuse my croaky voice at the moment. We're starting winter and I'm getting a little bit cool in the mornings. So with the folding and burnishing, your 2 inner score lines will come up to mountain folds like that, and then the 2 outer score lines will come back in to a valley fold like so. So you end up with that shape like that. We'll burnish all of those like that. Fairly simple to do. Once you've gotten all those pieces cut, It's not too difficult to assemble. A little bit of measuring here and there so you get things straight, but other than that it's quite simple. So that's those. Now if you've cut your pieces, obviously you would put all your DSP on your mats, and that's one to go on the back. Oops, where am I? This, that's one. And we've got 1, 2, and that one will be on the back as well. This one is going up on here. So we can put all of those on. Obviously you would put your DSP on first and then attach these. I might just get my silicone mat so I don't end up with glue on my workspace. So we'll just put some glue on these and attach them to the panels. I like to do as much prep beforehand as I can. Get those nice and straight. This blue one here is going on the top. My large group, my tips and tutorials group, it's quite active group. There's a lot of ladies sharing their projects in there. I love seeing what everyone's doing. If you do decide to join the group, or if you are already a member in the group, just be aware I don't allow links to be shared. A couple of, I think it was not last year, the year before, we had a link that someone shared and it was a scam. I'm happy for you to mention where you got your idea from, your card layout, but just don't put the link in there. Mostly people can find another channel or another group to without you sharing the link for them. Just give them the name of the card or the name of the fold, and it's easy enough to find. It's just that I try to keep my group safe. It's the rules are fairly simple. Be kind and courteous. Share your projects, and other than that, it's fairly simple. We don't have a lot of problems. We did have someone share something the other day that I deleted because it was a link to something else. It was a link to her Facebook group, which I'm happy for people to have their own Facebook group, but don't join from my Facebook group. Now, that's all of those on. Now, we need to put the 2 diamonds at the front here. We've got one at the top and one at the bottom. This pattern is not really directional, so I'm just going to do these 2 first. Now, the top point here should be in the middle, and the bottom point down here should be in the center, and they almost join in the center there. Even if they did join, you could move them in a little bit so that they're not out over the perimeter of the card base there. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure that so that I don't end up with it all crooked after spending all the time. This is 2 inches wide, this panel, so at 1 inch, just so I get a nice, I'm just going to put a little mark there. You won't even have to rub it out because you won't see it. And 1 inch down the bottom here. So I've got those 2, and actually I did put one in the center only because that was 5 3/4. It's just roughly in the center here, down there and there. It doesn't really matter. It's just to line up that center one when you get to it. So and these are going down flat. I haven't put anything up on dimensionals because it will be too thick. So I've got that center mark there, which is where you can line up that. So I'll flip this over, and you just want glue in this section here. You don't want it out here on these points, otherwise it's going to stick to where it shouldn't be. So just go down there We can go down here and then back up there. So just in that center section there. And then flip this back over, line up your point up here in the center. And my pencil mark is just there. I can just see a pencil mark, excuse me. And that's one. And then this one will be the same. Just flip it over, line up the 2 points. This one is easier because you're lining up the point there. And then the same again, up to the point and then down that side. I haven't gone really close to the edge on this over here because I know I'll end up over on the part where it doesn't need glue. Flip that back over, line up your pencil marks, which is this there. Comes out nice and straight just by putting a couple of pencil marks. And as you can see, they're down underneath. They don't need rubbing out. Just moving that down a little bit. So that's the 2 middle ones. I'm going to leave that one off for a minute because we're going to do these little cubes at the side. Now, when you do these, they're scored at 1/2 inch, 1 inch and 1.5 inches on the long side. They measured 2 by 1.5, so that's your 2 inch side. So you've got 1/2 inch increments all the way across. You'll end up with a little thing like that, a little cube. So when you put your tape on, and I shall get my red tape that I'm going to put on the top of that. Only because that last one did move, and I can fix that one later as well. So with your tape, when you've got them facing this way, you need a piece on each end of the 4. I've folded all of those as well. A piece of tape on each end, on both, and then one on one of the panels in the center. It doesn't matter which one, because if you put it on that one, you just flip it around. So it doesn't matter which one, but just one of the center pieces you need the tape. Now I'm going to take the back off those, and then I'm going to put some red tape over the top, just so that it's a little bit more secure. If I hadn't put this on, I wouldn't have had to do it, but it'll make it nice and strong. It gets a fair bit of movement on these. Now I shall put this red tape on when I find the end of it, which is not, there it is. So you're just putting it on 3 of the panels, the 2 outside panels and the one in the center. Where I thought I'd save myself time, but that's okay, we're still way ahead. I just don't like long videos that people have to watch when it's a relatively easy card to do. And the one here. My fingers are cold this morning, so a little bit hard to maneuver them. So that's that one, and we'll put some more on this one. And then I'm sure they'll stick well. Red tape's just a little bit stronger, I think, than the Terran tape. Well, the Terran tape that I get from Stampin' Up, it doesn't appear to be that good lately. I don't know whether they've changed their product or what. But for something like that, most of the time I use it. If it's just a box, it's not too bad. But something that gets a lot of movement, it needs something a little bit stronger. So we've got all of those on there. We'll just give them a burnish. Now this is the only tricky bit. I'm going to take the back off one section. Where is my pick tool? Right here. It'll be on this one here, the one that's over here by itself. You're going to fold this in, oh no, it's this way, sorry. You're going to fold this in half, like that, take the backing off this single piece, and this piece will be next to it, and it's going to sit in here, in this groove here. I'm just double checking I've got it right. Yep. And try and center it. Actually, what I'll do, I'll put a pencil mark out from this, out here. I think that's reasonably straight. Just out there and there. So with the fold, with the cut open edge on the inside, and this blank piece with no tape on goes down, we're going to line it up in that section there. So I've sort of eyeballed that there, and it's going to sit into this score line here. So I'll take the backing off this one. Keep losing my pick tool, but then it's always right in front of you. Take the backing off that one. And the backing on the red tape loves to stick to you. So I've got it, my little pencil mark there. I've just eyeballed that across and into the, if you pull that up, you can make sure it's pushed right into that score line, and then push that down. And that's stuck that nicely. And we'll do the same on the other side with this one. We'll do them together so you don't forget what to do on the other side. Taking the backing off that one, which it's nicely stuck. And then the two open, the open side facing inwards, and the blank without any tape on facing downwards. And we're going to line that up out here with that pencil mark into that groove there. I'll just pull that up like so to make sure it's right in that groove, and push that down. Now we can take the tape off both of these. That one there. I think with the tape underneath that, it's really, really stuck. Take the tape off both pieces at the top. It doesn't want to leave my finger. And then pull this across like so, and just push it down flat. You will have a little bit protruding out there, but you won't see that when it's finished. And then when you pull it back up, what have I done? I've done something wrong here. Yes, I shouldn't have taken that top one off. It's just the one. I can put another piece of tape on that. So just do it to the one. Don't take the, I'll show you on that side. I'm going to put another bit of red tape over that. So I shouldn't have taken the top off that. That's where the cube goes, the other diamond. Okay, I realised what I did then. Just take the tape off, the backing off one piece, the piece closest to this outside, the outside piece. I'll show you on the other side anyway, so we don't get the next one wrong. I'm just going to burnish that. That's where the, so we just want the tape off this, the one closest to the cut edge, not both. I went a bit ahead of myself there. Now we can pull that across, pull this across this way and push that down. That is better, Laura. You won't see any of that under there where I've pulled it up. And you'll end up with these two little cubes sitting at the side like that. Okay, I hope that I explained that well. Just don't take the tape off these till the end. This one, we can do this one now. Now I've adhered all these pieces together, but we need to cut this. You don't see the inside section, so it's not mattering that you haven't got the border on the outside. We're going to cut from point to point, and I found the best thing to use, not my trimmer, because I found it was a little bit thick. You've got two thicknesses of cardstock and the DSP. I've got this little trimmer. If you've got a guillotine, maybe use that, but I found this better. It needs something a little bit stronger. So I'm just going from point to point and cutting it. If you glue them together and leave them sit for a while, I've put a fair bit of glue on here because my first one that I did, this one over here, I didn't put enough glue in the center and it was opening up in along there. So make sure you've got enough glue in there to hold it together. So we've cut that into two pieces and that's going to pop into there. So now we can take the backing off these and we can do it properly. And as you can see, you're not seeing any of that in there. So this will just line up in the center. If you fold that flat, now we'll go this way for a start. I'm just eyeballing it so it's in the middle, like so. That's fairly even. I'll get it down into the, right against that side pillar. You want it like so, and stick that down. And the same with this one. Take the backing off that. I love pink and blue together. Looks really pretty. That one. And line this up in the center. That's why we didn't put that top one on, because you want to be able to see in there. I think that's fairly even. Just push that down shut. And that's your triple diamond, winged pop-up diamond. And then this one here, why have I still got one left? I've done too many, I think. I did. I've done one too many. That's okay. We'll put that on another card. I might put that up that way because it looks better with the flower. That one goes there. I've done one too many. So I'm not sure what I did there. Base, DSP, we needed 3 and 1 is 4, and I did 5. I did do 5, so it should only be 4. I'll just make sure my directions, my instructions are correct. So this one here, you could set this one up on dimensionals if you wish, but I'm not going to. Actually, I like this one better, I think. No, I like that one better. I'm going to put it flat because the card's bulky enough without more height on it. So I'm going to put that in the center. We'll flip it over like we did the others. Line it up point to point. This one's not too bad to line up. And we'll go around, not right out to the edge of those side points. Lots of glue so it'll stick well. Flip it back over. Try and eyeball the points. And I've just looked at these little sections here where you can see the diamonds. I'm not going to push it down yet, otherwise it'll move. Just hold that there. Go down a fraction. Trying to get it nice and straight. There we go. And that is the card. And I've got some decorations to put on. There's nowhere I can put that other diamond, so we'll leave it off. Doesn't go in there. I'm just trying to think where to use it. I'll make another card and use it on another card. So that one's done. And then we've got, I've just done these, I'm not sure about these little pieces. I was going to put them in behind the greeting, but I'm not sure. I might just cross them over. I'll put this, yes, I've got that up on dimensional, so I'll put this up. We haven't got, where did I put my, here. Got that in the middle. I'll put these crisscrossed on here. So I'll put a little bit of glue at the back. These are from, and the die itself is from this set here, Mixed Labels. And I've used this second largest one here, and this is the little piece that I used, something different. And I think I got the greeting, "You are a great friend." It's all out of that Mixed Labels set. So we'll put that across like so, just for a little bit of detail. And I'll put that one on top. I always like to put a little bit of something on just to give it a little bit more interest. I'll just go like so. That's not too bad. Just for a little bit of, and we'll put these around, hold it all together. You never know what something's going to look like until you put it together. I'll just get my pick tool again. I'll pop that in the center. Like so. And then I have these, which I think are so pretty, two-tone sparkle gems. There's not a lot I can put them on because of the colours, but I thought these colours went nicely with this card. There are some small and large. I think I'll use the bigger ones. We'll just put some random around. And go up here. And some out here. I don't put everything in a row. I like to scatter them around a bit. I'll put one on the greeting as well. Another one over here. I'll put a couple of little ones on the bottom of the greeting. At least my card's holding together this time with the extra tape, with the red tape. Trying to get everything straight here. I love my sparkle. That will do. We could go all day with sparkle. And that is my card. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll adjust my pieces. You don't need that extra one. I hope you like that. I love that new paper. And that's the three. That's two of the smaller one, which is the main reason I did the video. The bigger one is exact same assembly, but different size pieces. So, and the measurements for that one are on there as well. Thanks to Iced Images for your design. I shall catch you all again next Monday at 9 AM. Have a lovely week. Bye for now.